Hello, 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 and welcome to Recovery Day, Thunder Bay and Fort William First Nation, presented by Thunder Bay Drug Strategy, Fort William First Nation, and the Thunder Bay District Health Unit and the Drug Awareness Committee. I'm Ben Murray, also known as Plan B Strict 9. I've been involved with this event for like 4 years now, I think, 3 or 4 years. I hosted last year, and I come from a background where I've gone through this. So I was an addict for several years myself and went through the process in Thunder Bay and the trials and tribulations of being an addict here and having limited resources at hand and finding it hard and difficult to find somewhere to go to get help. And when you did get help, it isn't there isn't enough in general. So like there's not enough networks and it takes way too long to get into programs. To this day, it was actually a little worse before. Some of the programs are a lot quicker now. So there has been improvement over the years. Anyways, so I'm here to basically speak about how the future can be bright if we all come together as a community. We look forward instead of dwelling in the past and dwelling in our own insecurities and everything else that comes with that. We need to just be aware that addiction is a thing that is not going away. Drugs aren't going anywhere. We all know what that really means fundamentally. We need to deal with that and create more programs, more mental health awareness, and just in general, just be more aware of the subject and positive in our messaging, which I have trouble with sometimes. So bear with me sometimes, but yeah. I want to acknowledge Dougal Media, Acadia Broadcasting as our media sponsor tonight, and also acknowledging Sullivan and Associates and Alpha Court, and as a gold ally sponsor, Alpha Court. If you're sharing on social media tonight, we're going to use the hashtag Rockin Recovery TBay. That's hashtag Rockin Recovery TBay. And yeah, so we're going to go and play a few recorded things from Bill Morrow tonight, our mayor, Rebecca Johnson, and who is the chair of the Thunder Bay Drug Strategy. Thank you.
I would first like to acknowledge that the city of Thunder Bay is built on the traditional territory of Fort William First Nation, signatory to the Robinson-Superior Treaty of 1850. We would also like to recognize the contributions made to our community by the Métis people. Thank you for joining us to celebrate the role that recovery plays in the lives of our family, friends, and community tonight. Again, we are joining other cities across Canada who will celebrate recovery this month. Each community has a unique approach, but we stand united together in our message of hope. Recovery Day is important because we have thousands of community members living in recovery every day. And today is about giving some of these individuals a voice to share and celebrate their journeys. We hope that the personal stories you'll hear tonight will chip away at the stigma and stereotypes that often prevent people from getting help. Having members of our community be the face and voice of recovery is meant to give hope to those who are still suffering, to say, I did this, and so can you. The recovery movement is also about building a compassionate community and about bringing community together to celebrate, to show support and not stigma. I hope you all have fun. I want to give a quick shout out to all the members of the planning committee who spent a lot of time putting this together, and to our event coordinator for helping us make this year's event virtual, and to our recovery speakers. This would not be possible without you. Thank you all so much for your hard work, your enthusiasm, and your energy. Have a great night, everyone.
Hello, welcome to Recovery Day. My name is Rebecca Johnson, and I serve as the chair of the Thunder Bay Drug Strategy. Recovery Day is an annual event. It was first held on September the 30th, 2012, demonstrating and celebrating the ability of those with drug, alcohol, and behavioral addictions to achieve long-term sobriety and live productive and healthy lives. I want to thank all the volunteers, performers, and you for participating in this annual event. And whether you're in recovery, an ally to someone who is in recovery, or you just think that sobriety is awesome, everyone is welcome to celebrate Recovery Day during Recovery Month Canada and support recovery from addiction. Recovery is not a 9-to-5 job. Recovery is not a 30-day rehab recovery. Recovery is not an hour-long meeting. Recovery is not a therapy session. Recovery is a lifestyle. Recovery didn't choose you. You chose recovery, and that makes you one special, strong human being. Every step you take, hold your head up high. Not everyone can rise from nothing and still create something. Enjoy the evening, celebrate Recovery Day, and celebrate you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Rebecca Johnson. I'd now like to welcome Cynthia Olson to bring greetings on behalf of Rockin Recovery and the Planning Committee tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Hello, everyone out there. On behalf of Recovery Day Steering Committee, I really want to thank you all for tuning in virtually to celebrate recovery tonight. My name is Cynthia Olson, and I coordinate the drug strategy for the City of Thunder Bay. There are millions of Canadians living in recovery, and when you consider their friends and family, we're talking about 80 to 90% of the population being impacted. Substance use issues are the ones that are often sensationalized, but it's recovery that's truly sensational. The goal of Rockin Recovery is to engage with our community, provide education, raise awareness, and help reduce stigma surrounding addiction. We have a fantastic lineup of entertainers for you tonight. Venom, Barn Swallow, and comedy by Janine Desmoulin. We're also going to hear from Damon, Cheyenne, Trevor, Dustin, Sean, and Kayla about their recovery journeys. And I want to point out that they are the true headliners of tonight's event. And Rockin Recovery would not be possible without their willingness to share their journeys. This is our 8th annual Recovery Day celebration in Thunder Bay, and it's our 2nd time going virtual. I hope everyone out there is ready to rock recovery. And on behalf of our planning committee, I'd like to turn it back to our rockin' and ever so awesome MC, Ben. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Cynthia. I would now like to take a second to shout out our sponsors. In addition to Sullivan Associates and Alpha Court as our Gold Ally sponsors, we would also like to thank our Silver Ally sponsors, Norwest Community Health Centers and St. Joseph's Care Group, Bronze Sponsor Allies, Dalico Anishinaabe Family Care, and Jeremy Capay. All right, we're gonna bring up our first speaker now. His name is Damien Crack. Damien is passionate about recovery, both his and his people in his community. It is important to Damien that addiction and recovery be brought out of the dark and into the light. So let's give a hand to Damon. He's going to come up and speak.
So I'm sitting in my office and I don't know what to do. There's an investigation going on. Someone's been stealing from the retirement home where I work. The theft has been going on for a while. I am the thief. I am the opiate addict. I'm the husband about to call his wife and confess. I'm the liar who's been relapsing for 2 years. How did I get here? In my first recovery, I believed that not using and lack of cravings meant a successful recovery. I believed that most people needed others to recover, but I did not. I believed recovery was going to be easy, that recovery was nowhere near as hard as people said. When I called my wife and told her I've been stealing drugs from work, she didn't say a word. I told her I was minutes away from being exposed, fired, criminally charged. There might be jail time. I cried that I'd been lying for years. Still, she said nothing. And when she did speak, she roared. My wife told me not to come home, that I was to detox alone. My wife told me I was only welcome home if I put everything into finding recovery again. What does rock bottom feel like? Rock bottom feels like you've lost everything and you'll never get it back. Rock bottom is when you've completely run out of good ideas. Rock bottom is when you stop digging. And rock bottom is the beginning of recovery. Through humiliation, I found humility. And this allowed me to walk into a support meeting knowing full well that I did not know what I was doing. Knowing full well that I had zero idea how to recover myself. In that first meeting, I found the people who did. These people knew how to recover and they knew how they could help me. As I attended more and more meetings, I learned that I did not have a drinking or drug problem. I had a living problem. The gap between who I wanted to be and who I was immense. I learned that this is the gap where my addiction lived. I learned that I was dishonest and selfish to the extreme. If I wanted this gap to close between the man I'd been and the man I was desperate to become, I had to choose a different way of living, a different way of being in the world. The first thing I needed to be was honest about my addiction. I was, in fact, powerless, and my powerlessness had made my life unmanageable. I had no plan for making my life better. I needed to listen very closely to the people who knew what they were doing. I needed to ask for good advice and actually do what they suggested. I knew the stakes. I knew what I could lose again if I failed in my recovery this time. Life was going to get worse. And I didn't want to know what worse looked like. So that's what I did. I found the people who knew what the heck they were doing, and I did what they did. And my life got better. My life improved in all ways. I've come to know a peace, contentment, and joy that I didn't even know existed. Where do we go from here? The past 15 months have shown us the impact of disconnection and isolation. Addiction rates are skyrocketing. Mental health around the world is plummeting. There's a cannabis shop on every corner. Alcohol is sold in grocery stores, and liquor stores have longer hours. For a long time, addiction has been called the disease or the dis-ease of disconnection. Today, so many more of us are afraid, isolated, and alone. For people in recovery who've stayed in recovery throughout this pandemic, I am so, so proud. It's hard out there to stay present, to stay connected, to choose not to escape and numb out. My hope for people like me and for people different than me is that we are not judged, is that we are judged a little less harshly and loved a little more ferociously. Rock bottom, recovery, and redemption have taught me that you absolutely can close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. Anyone who chooses a life of sobriety over a life of addiction is a friggin' warrior. When you win at recovery, the people win around you. The community wins, the country wins. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nicole from Alpha Court. Recovery is one of the most challenging journeys a person will go through in their life, but you don't have to do this alone. I'd like to introduce you to our addictions team here at Alpha Court.
Hi, I'm Alia. Recovery saves lives and builds community. You are worth recovery.
Hi, I'm Paul. Sometimes in recovery, one of the hardest things to do is to start to stop.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow.
For more information, please call us at 683-8200 or visit our website at www.alphacourt.ca.
And have a rocking recovery.
The toxic drug supply is making its way into almost every type of drug in Canada. Young people are getting a false sense of security when using drugs recreationally. Luckily, users can get notified whenever there's toxic drugs circulating in their area. We've created new features to help users navigate harm reduction resources. For example, drug testing facilities in your area and where to access naloxone. If you or someone you know uses drugs recreationally, one of the smartest things that you can do is download the Lifeguard app. Together, we can all make a difference. Download the Lifeguard app today.
All right. Well, thank you, Damon Crack. That was really good, man. Moving story. Next up, we have Cheyenne Jones. Cheyenne Jones is from Botswana First Nation. She is the mother of 2 beautiful children and is here to share her story of hope and recovery. Welcome, Cheyenne Jones.
There's a story I remember. There was a mean alcoholic who had 2 sons. One son grew up, become a really mean drunk, just like his dad, and the other son never touched a drop. One day they were both asked why they acted the way they did, and both sons replied their father. This story reminds me of my son, because both of his parents would struggle with substances. I was always afraid of him turning down the same path that I followed. He's always called me on my choices, asked me why I did what I did, how come I was the way I was, and why wasn't he enough? That one was the one that hit me the hardest. Why wasn't he enough? The question, although only words, more like knives, because I didn't have an answer. I still don't even know. I didn't have an answer for why his mom used drugs. I had no answer about why I kept using, even though he was the only thing that mattered to me. I'm not new to addiction, but I am new to recovery. I thought recovery just meant stop using drugs. But today I know it's a lot more than just the drug. It's being an adult, which to me, the meaning is taking responsibility for your actions, things I did in my addictions, after my addictions, being honest, not just with the people in my life, but myself, making different choices, choosing to walk away from people and situations, and environments that led me down the wrong path, away from my children, my family, the person that I was really trying to be. Someone my grandparents, my mother could be proud of, and someone who could wake up and look in the mirror and not want to look away. Recently, this past year, I've OD'd several times, but this one hit me the hardest. My mom actually had to try and revive me, and it was really hard on my friends and family. I couldn't imagine my mother having to find her daughter like that, where she literally had to pump life back into my chest. After the hospital, I took inventory of my life, people and choices I've made, and who was around, who really cared, who was just there for the fun, and who actually wanted me to get better. And it was a huge eye-opener for me. And in this next month coming up is my birthday. And normally I would have a party at my mom's, and it's a big trigger for me for my addiction. And I start going out partying, and I just don't stop after everybody goes home. This year, I am doing a staycation with my mom and my children. We're going to get a room in a hotel, go out for a fancy dinner, and I'm focusing on reconnecting with my family instead of keeping that party going. Having woken up in the hospital, I was very dazed and confused. I couldn't get my thoughts straight on what had happened. And now having time to reflect on that, I have a new want in life. Adventures with my kids, as many days as I can, as many moments as I can get. Listening to my mother when she tells me stories when she was younger, and trying to remember moments in time where I was truly happy, because I don't have a lot of them that I remember being in and out of my addiction. Today, I know my triggers a lot more, places, things, some things that you wouldn't even think to remove from your day-to-day life. Focus more on my day-to-day. I love doing my yard work, and my self-care is huge for me. I have my own dates that I do with my dogs, where I cook us all steaks, and I sit in my pajamas on my couch with both my dogs, and each of us get a steak, and I watch Netflix. And my mom takes my kids. We call it my regrouping days, where I get grounded. Also finding my worth in my addiction and things that I've gone through, traumas, instead of seeing them as negativities in my life, I've been using them to gain confidence. One was working with Northern Lights Collaborations through a project they were doing. Sometimes I wish I had done things differently so that I could be more part of my family. I missed out on a lot of time, sorry, with my nanny and papa, and I wish they could see me today. The last time I saw my papa, I was very, very much in heavy addictions, and that's one thing that I can't get back. But I made sure I was sober for my grandma's passing. I just hope they both know that I'm trying my hardest to stay on the right track and just be the mom I know I can be and be strong for my kids. I have struggled in addiction, mental, physical, emotional abuse, and not just one of my relationships, but all of them. If you were to look at my police reports and look at my hospital files or talk to some of the people that I used to be involved with, Cheyenne Jones is probably not one of the people that you'd want your kids around, let alone watching your dogs or even be friends with. And now, although I still struggle day to day, I am learning my own worth and knowing that even though my story still has a lot of chapters, I'm excited to see where it goes. And that my addiction does not define me or who I am.
Thank you, Cheyenne Jones. It was a very moving story. I wish you all the best in your recovery. I think everyone here does, and just all the best. Next up, we're going to talk about this mural for a second. It went around Thunder Bay, and people signed it in different places. It's an interactive experience leading up to Recovery Day, where the human spirit of compassion, love, and caring, resilience are brought to the foreground. With stories encouraged to share messages of recovery. The murals were made possible by, wow, this is really, really nice of them to say, Earthling Art Collective's me, Benjamin Murray, designed by digital artist Charlotte Bottle, amazing graphic artist that we work with, and printed by Kurt over at Great North Graphics, a fledgling business here in Thunder Bay. They're amazing. You should go get your printing from them. 4 murals were supported and promoted by a multitude of people and organizations across Thunder Bay and Fort William First Nation. Special thanks goes to our mural sponsors, recovery allies, and community members for your contribution in making the traveling mural a focus point of sharing and recovery this year. Thank you. Next up, we have Barn Swallow. Rich with emotion, Nate's experience, influence, and inspires all the pieces he writes. Currently based in Kingston, Ontario, the album's songs were originally recorded while Nate was living in Thunder Bay at Les Henderson's studio. I happen to know Les, he's an old friend of my father's. The studios were tucked away and seemingly forgotten, but found years later by his wife after Les's passing, and she was able to reunite the work with Nate. Nate's many talents are showcased in this one-man band project, playing almost all of the instruments himself. Check out Nate's work on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, and Facebook. Introducing Barn Swallow. Thank you.
Bonjour. The Thunder Bay Indigenous Friendship Center is pleased to support Rockin Recovery 2021. Rooted in culture, the Thunder Bay Indigenous Friendship Center strengthens the lives of Indigenous people by providing support, service, and advocacy for children, elders, and everyone in between. Call us today at 345-5840 or find us online at tbifc.ca or on our Facebook page. Miigwech.
What does recovery mean? Thunder Bay Counseling knows that recovery is different for everyone. It can take many paths, different types of treatment, and have all kinds of goals. This Recovery Month, let's take a moment to recognize the unique strengths and journeys of every individual who is striving to recover from addiction. No matter who you are, your race, gender, sexuality, where you live, or how much money you make, please know that help is available to you. If you're ready to talk, we're ready to listen. Call us in confidence at 684-1880.
That was awesome. Barn Swallow is really good. I'm definitely going to be checking them out. on all those different platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. Next up, we have a good friend of mine, Trevor Atkinson, man. Awesome guy, father to 2 children, aged 4 and 5. He's a residential addiction worker and is currently in a social service program at Confederation College. Shout out, Trevor.
Childhood mostly consisted of playing hockey, camping, fishing, and enjoying everything about the outdoors. Thanks to my mom, I'd always had great opportunities. Lots of hockey, good food to eat, personal trainers. I always had the best sports equipment to use. I was happy. I'm a member of Lake Helen First Nation, but I grew up in 2 places, Nipigon and Thunder Bay. I believe moving back and forth, starting when I was 11 years old, caused a disconnect. Always new schools, new friends, new teams. When my siblings moved away, I started feeling lonely. When I was about 12 years old, I began to make some very poor decisions. I had always felt that something was missing in my life. So I started looking for something to fill that void. Maybe I was missing my dad. My father left when I was young. He hardly visited. So those feelings of disconnect and loneliness grew. I started to drink, smoke, rebel, fight. I'd break the law with friends from school or from hockey. The feeling I got from using drugs or alcohol helped me forget. When I was high or drunk, I escaped from everything. All pressures in my life disappeared. The pressure to do well in school, the pressure to perform well playing hockey, the abandonment I felt when I thought about my father. I was running away from so much. Eventually, the emotional relief I found when using drugs or alcohol stopped. The feelings I most wanted to avoid, to numb out, grew stronger and darker. Smoking pot, taking mushrooms and ecstasy soon progressed into cocaine and opiates. By the time I was 16, I was using hard drugs every single day. When I was using, I saw life as a party. There was a relief in not thinking or worrying about tomorrow. But we're supposed to think about our future. We're supposed to have dreams and goals. My health went on the decline. All of my hobbies, my friends, my family took a backseat to my using. Today, I approach life from a very different understanding. Yes, I live for today, but I also plan for tomorrow. I live life wanting to be better and stronger than I am today. Every day I ask myself, how can I be of best service, not just to myself, but to others and to the Creator? Looking back, I realized that even during my addiction, I received blessings and good times. I graduated from college. I had 2 beautiful children. I held steady jobs, but all good in my life, especially the deep, deep love I had felt for my kids, was still never enough to stop my using. Don't get me wrong, I tried. I went to treatment centers, detox 10 times, recovery homes, self-help groups, counseling sessions, powwows, and sweats. Almost losing custody of my kids broke me wide open to recovery. Hitting rock bottom finally made me willing to be open-minded, to be honest with myself and others. I finally surrendered, complete surrender. After 10 years of battling addiction, I surrendered to the fact that I didn't know how to live clean. I didn't know how to stay clean, and I didn't know what was best for me either. Trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result really is insanity. Today, I've regained my soundness of mind. I'm sane again. My kids are back in my life. I have a home, work I enjoy, no debt, and a new car. Life is good, and I am grateful. Today, I face life head on. Life is not always pretty, but win or lose, pass or fail, I come out the other side with my head held high. I always feel proud of my attempts to be a better man, father, and friend. This attitude adjustment, this new outlook on life, has given me the confidence and strength to look to the stars for my future. In recovery, anything I put my mind to is achievable. And my recovery always comes first, always, even before my kids, my family, my work, and my friends. Because without my recovery, I lose everything and everyone again. Being accountable to myself, my feelings, my actions gives me a tremendous feeling of relief. I am finally able to be myself, my authentic, true soul self. I am able to be present with my children, always eye to eye. I don't have to hide my thoughts or my feelings from my family. One of the greatest gifts that recovery offered me was my mother telling me she no longer worries about me. She no longer worries about me dying young, high, and unhappy. Today, she's able to relax and enjoy her time with me and her grandkids. I hope that my story helps and inspires you. Recovery is possible. Recovery is about being willing to follow the loving path in front of you. That path was laid out by people fighting and winning the same battles you're facing. I hope you find the light in the darkness, and I hope that light leads you to a path of sobriety. I wish you good luck on your journey. Miigwech to your creator for always being there for me, for always giving me the strength to fight a battle I could not fight or win alone. You are never alone in recovery.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Capay. I'm the founder and owner of Jet Apparel, your everyday wear for any season and activity. Every purchase you make gives back to the Canadian Mental Health Association in Thunder Bay, as my goal is to help those that are suffering from mental illness due to trauma and abuse. So let's work together to help those get better and feel better.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic. Family and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Al-Anon members are people just like you who are worried about someone with a drinking problem. Al-Anon is a weekly support group that will give you help and hope no matter who your loved one is, whether it be your spouse, partner, child, parent, sibling, grandparent, relative, or friend. We can help. Al-Anon family groups. Help and hope for families of alcoholics. Our local number is 807-622-1906. Our local website is alanonthunderbay.org.
When you're in recovery, or if there's a mental health crisis at hand, it can be stressful to navigate through the number of resources available. But we're here to help. You talk, we listen. There are options 24/7. Call the Canadian Mental Health Crisis phone line to talk to trained staff. Anyone can call at any time. Call us today, 807-346-8282, or call us toll free at 1-888-269-3100.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. The last speaker was Trevor Atkinson. Over the years, I've been running into Trevor in various times over his recovery journey, and I just want to say I'm super proud of you, bro. Like, for real, it's good to see you, man. And these are the stories we need to hear. And so next up, we actually have Justin Leduc, living in recovery in Thunder Bay. He's currently working as an outreach worker with at-risk people within the city, and is also attending college to become an addictions worker. And I'm proud to say he has more than 1 year in recovery. So let's show him some support, guys. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. How's it going? So normally I would tell you about my whole life story, the rough upbringing, the traumatic experiences, all the abuse. I could tell you about my long journey into addiction, but I'd rather tell you about my recovery. Right now, I'm setting up a harm reduction program on my reserve, and there's a lot of other good stuff going on. I'm proud to say that I am helping, giving back to my community in a way that they previously helped me. They now have a food bank, a peer support group, as well as an STI and HIV detection clinic. I honestly believe I owe everything good in my life at this moment to getting clean. And yes, I mean staying clean for good this time. I've always been able to get clean, but could never stay clean for long periods of time. And it's really weird because I was able to quit drinking at a young age with the help of AA, no problem. However, I guess drugs are a different story for me. You see, I'm a strong believer in 12-step programs and recovery, but most importantly, I'm a strong believer in second, third, and even fourth chances. The people in those programs kept and will continue to do so, no matter how many times I screwed up. Or by chance, if I were to relapse, they will be there, no judgment. I've screwed up a lot in my life. The last time I relapsed, life got so bad that I ended up robbing the same store 4 times in a row. After that, I landed in jail. Life really got real. I ended up in the federal penitentiary system. I was so scared and in disbelief at how my life had become. Despite this, it was in this time in my life, I really started to reevaluate my life and my actions. And ultimately at how drugs was tearing my life down and apart. I am a believer in multiple chances because of the people in the recovery programs. I've been given more chances by them than most. This started giving me hope. Their faith in me made me start to believe in myself as well. My biggest breakthrough was after I had a huge breakdown. Lots of family drama, lots of pain, and lots of loss and anger. I went to a sweat lodge and I did one thing. I cried. I told everybody everything that was going on with me. I put myself out there and bared my soul to these people. And you know what happened? They wanted me to stay. They didn't kick me out and they accepted me for who I was, the real me, not for what I could give them or who I pretended to be. First time in my life, I was vulnerable and real. And it felt great to finally tell the truth and to finally be honest with not only them, but myself as well. Recovery has taught me to learn from my mistakes. I've been taught to live and how to go out into the world. I'm forever grateful for all the lessons I've learned. I'm grateful for my sponsor and everyone who believes in me. My biggest gratitude right now is being able to give back and to help the people who are going through what I had as well. I have plans to continue my education and further my knowledge within the year. My goal is to be an addictions worker. I want to help more people. Today, I couldn't be happier. I have an education, a full-time job, a stable relationship, all things that I thought once to be impossible. If there's one thing that you can take away from this story, it is that recovery works and helps, but it's not easy. It's a forever journey, but it saved my life. Live life to the fullest. You deserve it. So if you can get clean and sober in recovery on the first try, great. All the power to you. However, if you're not this person, it's okay. Do not give up. If I can do it, you can do it. You're worth the fight and effort to do so. Don't give in to the negative thoughts and constant self-doubt. It will get better. Never give up and keep trying. Multiple chances are a thing. As I've said, there will always be someone to give you that, even if it doesn't seem so. Keep trying and getting back up. Life is about progress and progression. Life is not perfect, but it's all worth it, I promise you.
Today, we join with our community in celebrating the promise of recovery from addictions.
We celebrate the people whose stories and strength help us to imagine a future.
A future where anyone with an addiction feels safe and supported in seeking help to improve their lives.
We are nurses,
harm reduction workers,
and public health staff. Whatever recovery looks like for you, we are here for you.
Connection in recovery has never been more important than over the past year. As recovery allies, today and every day is an opportunity to celebrate recovery from all forms of addiction and stand together to lead the fight against stigma. Recovery is available to everyone, and you are not alone. It takes courage to ask for help, and Crossroads Center is here to support your journey before and after treatment through reconnection and self-discovery.
All right. That was Justin LeDuc with a really powerful story about redemption, and relapse is a part of the story. And I think it's really important to talk about that because from personal experience, I relapsed several times until I found my footing. And if it wasn't for programs in the city, like the methadone clinic, for instance, for me, I wouldn't be here today. So, and also people putting up with me over the years, giving me a place to stay, couch to sleep on, stuff to steal, honestly. So, and not turning me away. So Next up, we have like one of my best friends, one of my oldest friends, who I want to pronounce the name on purpose. Give me, oops, sorry, can't swear. But yeah, Janine Desmoulin does not refer to self as comedian, but as an animated storyteller. So if you do not laugh, you will laugh. At the very least, you got a little story to take with you. A proud First Nation member of Beatagong Nishnabik, wife, mother, drum carrier, and helper who knows a little about humor and healing. She traveled a whopping 10 minutes from Finlayson Street to join us and is very happy to be here this evening to rock the beep out of recovery with you all. Welcome, Janine.
Oh, let's give it up. Carrie's telling me take off my mask, but this is part of my act. So thank you, Ben, for that introduction, and thank you all for being here. You guys at home can't see what I see. I'm inside of City Hall. City Hall, I'm in you. Give it up for everybody that didn't sit in these seats tonight so we could sit here in person behind little partitions. Yeah, we got partitions up in here. But I needed to show you something. I too have suffered relapse in recovery. And through COVID, I'm not one of those warriors who kept on stepping. And I have to be honest in my recovery journey, in my healing journey, because I live an honest program, and that's part of life. And that's part of saying, okay, I'm the 40 to 60%. But I just have to tell you right now, I'm just like this button. I try to put it on. I'm a little broken, but that's okay because I could still rock out recovery today. Give me a hand. Okay. I wore my Choose Life mask because that's what I'm doing here today. I also work for Anishinaabe Aske Nation, and I had to put a shout out to them and the great work that they're doing out in the 49 First Nations and in for our community here of Thunder Bay. We're bridging mental health gaps and services, those things that plague our youth today, like suicide ideation. We don't want to see another youth lead to addiction, lead to not having the services or places with their mental health. So I needed to let you know that today. That's why I'm repping my mask. That's why I'm repping what I do and what I have learned through a lifetime of living. And I know that Ben said, I'm not going to take you backward. I'm going to take you forward because we're rocking a healing path. But some of my stories happened way long time ago. But this happened today. I'm wearing my mask and I'm walking around. Any of you a mouth breather, raise your hand in the room. I want to see, okay, I got about 7 mouth breathers. Who else walks around like this? With their mask on, doesn't even know. It's because I can't breathe, man. And I'm walking around like this and I'm wondering why my jaw is so damn sore. And it's because I've been walking around like this underneath my mask all day. Just looking sexy. I'm going to put that over there. So I've been doing this for a couple years, mostly a couple minutes right now. So I thank you for bearing with me. I'm going to take you back to my recovery journey. My recovery journey entailed me to pick up certain things. A lady laid them out for me. She said, Janine, what are those things on the floor? I said, that's a rug. No, I'm just kidding. That's not a rug. There was 4 sacred medicines on the floor: tobacco, asema, sage, cedar, and that other one, sweetgrass. Just kidding. There's 4 sacred items on that floor. Hey, she has them all laid out nice. They're not just sprawled sporadically on the floor, guys. She was doing them up proper and nice. I was in a women's treatment center, Sudbury, many years ago. And that's when I first decided, She goes, what are those things on the floor there? I said, those are the 4 sacred medicines. I respect them so much, I don't touch them. She goes, well, what are medicines for? I said, medicines for sick people. She goes, Ginny, are you sick? Oh, I'm ever sick. No, I told her I'm sick right here and I'm sick right here. There's a disconnect somewhere in between. I am sick. She goes, pick up those medicines. I had to be given the okay, and I'm giving you the okay today to pick up whatever you need as medicine, whether it be walking, whether it be running, whether it be talking, whether it be making people giggle. That's what you do. You pick up the medicines that you hold true to your heart, whether it be your ceremony, the things you need, your drum, whatever you need, you pick them up. So I picked them up. Smoking. Yeah, just kidding. I didn't pick up smoking, but she told me that that tobacco, I'm going to educate some people that don't know in Thunder Bay and people that are watching out there. I'm going to educate you. Asema is given in a good way. That's our first medicine in creation. And we give that first before we do anything. Somebody asks you, hey, could you drum for me? You better give me some Asema first, because that's my connection to Creator. And we don't do nothing without Creator saying, okay. No, it's a gift. And so if anyone offers you that, don't refuse it. Just say thank you. And you put it down wherever you have to put it down. So I pick up that Asema today. You know, I pick it up in a good way, and I'm giving you the opportunity to do the same thing. If you smoke, I smoked for many years. I quit just by picking that up in a good way and saying, I need help putting that down. You know, so that's what I did. But I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to bring you way back. Ben and I had a mutual friend who passed, and this was when I was in my early recovery many years ago. And I'm walking Westford area, I'm walking, and I'm having a very, very hard time. I don't know what to do with Asema. I don't know what to do with tobacco. They told me just pray and put it down. Put it down where I feel like. So where'd I go? Cam River, my old stomp. I've acquainted myself to the benches. I've acquainted myself to the boat with a romantic partner or two. My dad is in the room. He doesn't know that. He can't hear all the time. Look at him smiling. Anyway, I hit up the boat. Okay, back to the story. Anyway, taking my Asema, and I'm walking. And I'm walking all the way from Westford. I was so distraught. I was so hurt in my heart. And you guys know hurt, because we've all been through COVID. And we've all hurt together as a collective. This is what it's like for our recovery family. We're a collective. We know that hurt. We know that trauma. Everybody here that's spoken today, Jimmy, watch for your heart. This is what I was doing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm holding soggy tobacco at this point because I've walked pretty darn far, and I was a heftier woman then. Anyway, I'm walking and I get to the edge of the path. There's two little seagulls there standing on the guardrail, just watching me, just looking, and I'm appreciating them. I'm like, okay, this might be spirit. These might be my grandparents for all I know. So let those seagulls do their little thing. Here's me. Oh, I don't know what to pray for. I pray to a creator. I pray to God. I pray to somebody. I just want to stay on this path. I don't know what to do. Ooh, ugly crying. Not even the good kind. Just ugly. Not like a whisper of a tear. Just darn right ugly snot and everything. These seagulls are minding their own business. They're comforting me at this point. I'm feeling good about life for that moment, because I put in my tobacco in the water ever so gently, like the Lady Rose off of the Titanic. Oh, you know, I go like this. Oh, mysteries, creation, the birds, everything. I'm praying. I don't know how to pray, but here we go. Oh. Big wind blew all my Asema behind me, as clumped up as moist as it was behind me. And these birds, I went, oh, I didn't think I did it right. Those birds went like this. And I fought those birds as I left. I went, yeah, expletive bird. You're not my expletive grandpa bird. And I'm stomping down the boardwalk. It was a bigger stomp than this. This is a rug, but it was bigger, it was louder. Use your imagination. Here we go. I'm stomping down the boardwalk. About halfway to that romantic boat, I ended up laughing at myself, laughing at myself getting mad at these birds, laughing at the situation I was in, learning that laughter is part of my medicine. And so I share that story because it's part of my foundation of recovery. It's part of my beginning. It's probably going to be part of my end one day because I still want to go out playing Bone Thugs Crossroads. Bone Thugs and Harmony. I said, I don't care if I'm 86, play that at my funeral because I'm going to meet you there, bro. You know, I got to bring you back to a story. My brother, tattoos all over his neck. This is me early recovery, trying to find my way, working down at our kids count. Because this is my recovery story. I was 1 foot in, straight and narrow. I looked like a scholar. I looked like I had my stuff together. And then 1 foot out. You didn't know what I did after 8 p.m. You didn't know who Janine was because I was calling myself J9. I called myself J9, a letter and a number because I was easy to call, but you didn't have my phone number. You didn't have my area code. You didn't have my house number. You didn't know who my brother, my sister, my family was. You just knew me as J9, this big, rough, tumbly looking lady who could mess you up, but bring you in with a smile. That was me, part of me. My brother and I walking down the street when I'm working at Air Kids Count, tattooed neck, big buff guy. We're walking down the street. All these little 50 plus ladies come running up to me. All little white hairs, because I worked at the 50 plus kitchen some days. Anyway, I was going to school part-time. And part of it was my placement at Our Kids Count, which I appreciate the work they do. I'm walking down the street, walking down Mackenzie with my brother. We're just, that's our stomp. We grew up there. East End on his neck. Okay, for those of you that aren't acquainted with Thunder Bay, East End ends at Superior Bulladrome. Can I get a woot woot? Past May, you're over in Fort William again. All the East Enders are going, what? And that place, that underpass, that smells a little urinated. That is a subway for those that don't know. You call it an underpass, we know you're not from here. Anywho, me and my brother walking down the street. Little old ladies, oh, hi, give me a hug. My brother's, hi, J9. Hi, J9. How's it going, J9? How are you? Oh, hello, Marge. How are you? Hi, Mary. How are you? Okay, I'll see you next week when I'm working. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And my brother, what the did you tell them your thug name for? I said they didn't know how to spell Janine or pronounce it. What was I going to do? I'm not going to tell my elders, this is what you call me if you don't know what to call me. He was distraught. He was a little upset, but it was okay. It was something he got over. I have to acknowledge that guy. You know, I have to acknowledge him at everything I do because it's like a little bird on my shoulder. He says, hey, tell him about me. He got his spirit name year before he passed away, fentanyl overdose. God rest his soul. But my brother is here in this room with me today, and he goes, tell them my name. Because when we went and got his spirit name, he acted all tough. He acted like a big baller again, big guy. Comes home, hey, so what is it? I don't know, something like everlasting day or whatever, whatever. Then he comes back, hey, but it means I'm never going nowhere. It's everlasting, eh? So it pumped him up, made him feel good. And that's what we do in our recovery journey. We find those good stories. We find those things that make us feel darn good. And we laugh at the stuff that doesn't. We laugh at it. We look it in the face. We go, well, however you laugh. I don't know. That's how I laugh sexy. I laugh super exotic. But anywho, okay, double it back to today. And I want to tell you a little bit about my roots and stuff, right? So tell you about today. I always ask, I put my say on down and I ask, what am I going to say up there? Because I don't come up here scripted. That's why I'm a storyteller. You'll see some people tell the same stuff over and over again. One day I'll have a Netflix special and that will be my deal. But today I go improv. But anywho, no offense to everybody with a Netflix special. They're looking pretty hurting these days. Just saying, pick up your socks. Get out there to City Hall, do a show. Anywho, okay. So today, bring it back today. I ask creator all the time, hey, oh man, I hope something funny happens. Like before a show or something, oh, I hope something funny happens because I got nothing. And COVID was freaking hard. Nothing funny happened, except maybe sitting in front of a screen looking at a PowerPoint I created and talking to no one. It wasn't until I went into my new workplace that they said, "Hi, you're so funny." And I said, "Hi, how do I know you?" Oh, masked up. It was a coworker who said they had witnessed a show. And then one of the shows I had done was about getting through struggles with a little bit of humor. And so I talked about the most struggling time I had, which was going to the hospital before I had my son. 3 years ago today, I want to say happy birthday, my boy. You're snoozing, but somebody's watching. 3 years old, we had a birthday party today at the hospital, guys. And this is, I could still stand here and say, I'm okay. You know, my boy is looked after. He's in his own recovery journey right now. I'm okay. But the thing is, 3 years ago, I'll dial it back 3 weeks before the 3 years. Okay, doing math. Ugh, it's hard. I got asked, hey, do you want to be a speaker? Because we heard you've been living a life of recovery. And that shit's hard. No, they didn't say that. They said, do you want to be a speaker? And I said, I'm currently in Toronto Mount Sinai Hospital laying in a bed. Do you think you could do it virtually? Because I really did want to connect with people and get out. And lo and behold, here we are. Took a whole pandemic to get me here virtually. Right on. But anywho, dial it back to today. I'm in the hospital with my boy. He is Rockin Recovery. He's a Rockin Recovery baby. September 22nd is his day of birth. So I wouldn't have been able to do that show, guys. I would have been walking out like this because I had a cesarean section. And this is how far I walked one day. Day after my cesarean section, I was so itching for a hug, like COVID hug. We haven't had a COVID hug. This was my 3 months in, like 3 months in labor and delivery, waiting to have a baby. We didn't know how it was going. It was a big emergency. But here I was, babe, I'm going to a CA meeting. And he goes, what's that? I said, it's some anonymous meeting. You don't need to know about it. I'm going for my hug. My boy is okay. All he does is sleep. I am going. So this is what I did. Downtown Toronto. Walked all the way there. Oh, look at my chubby back. Huh? Should have done more walking. Walked all the way there. Walked all the way back. Just to get 15 hugs back to back. Oh boy, did that feel rich. And what I'm saying about that is we've all had those hard times. You walk forward in the direction. You don't go back. You walk forward because that's where life is taking you. We sometimes go back, we falter. And like I said, it was a day before my 6-year recovery. I live an honest program. I don't forget anything I learned in those 6 years. I went back to remember, holy shit, I just needed a hug. So if you could do it, go out and get the hugs you can. Go out and get the connection you can. Going out and get what you need when you can. Because what happened to me was I went out, yes, but I got a diagnosis that apparently everybody knew about except me. I went like this. Okay, mom. Hey, dad. Husband. Yeah, that guy's still there. So I went to the doctor, great psychiatrist. And this is the thing, you pick up your supports, you pick up your resources, like all the ones seen on the screen. You do that and you do that often. So you don't have to go backwards. But the thing is, I count my blessings for still being here. I went like this. I got a diagnosis. I'm bipolar. They went, oh, okay. And what else they say? I told my sponsor. She goes, Janine, I could have told you that long time ago. You didn't even have to pay those people. And I went, what the hell, man? Did everybody know except me? How is that even possible? But it actually explains the ebbs and flows in my life, because sometimes I'm down, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm standing in City Hall, who knows? But the thing is, when you get those diagnoses, you aren't your diagnosis. Just like your addiction, you aren't your addiction. You aren't just a funny storyteller. Whatever you are, you're here. We're all spirit, okay? One last one before I go. Getting back into the spirit. Anyone here of Puddle of Mud? 90s? They're all looking at me. How is this applicable? Anyway, it's a band. Ben, Puddle of Mud? You know, long, yeah, okay. Well, I don't get the concept of the name, but I am almost certain it's a reference for something else. Because here I was with this almost 3-year-old yesterday, and we're hooked up to his IV rack. And he's having a hard time processing an antibiotic. And so what happened was I'm pushing the rack down the hall because we've been given the okay to go walk down the hall. So I'm taking him and he's having a great time. He's having an excellent time. And he goes, Mommy, I poop. And I was getting his cords ready and I looked like this. That wasn't a poop. That was a fountain puddle of mud all over the floor. And I went, what the heck? So here I am holding him, corralling the IV thing, dripping puddle of mud all over the place. For those of you that don't know why I'm talking about poop. And anyway, bring it back. And this lady comes in, and this is where the reference came from. The nurse comes in, she goes, I didn't know if you needed a hand or anything, but it looked like you were playing in a puddle of mud. And I went, definitely not mud. That's some things that sometimes happens. And whatever puddle of mud you find yourself in, people, it's okay, because we can wash away and carry on another day. I think that's been my 15. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon, evening, good night.
Janine, man, I think we could all learn a lot from the way Janine approaches life in general, with humor and humility. And I know I can. So I need to pay more attention to Janine. Jeez. But next up we have Sean Moore. So he's an amazing stand-up guy, one of my close friends as well. And he also goes by a few other names, NATO Pool Boy and Sean Skies. You might have heard of him. He's got like a whole bunch of followers on TikTok, a whole bunch of followers on Facebook. Dude's famous. So without no further ado, from Fort William First Nation, Sean Morso.
Bojo, Niguech, which means hello and thank you. I'm just like you. That's right. Just like you. I'm a husband, a father, and a hardworking man. But I wasn't always myself, the person I am today. I used to drink a lot, more than I'd like to say. Drinking was an addiction that fed my depression and anxiety without me even realizing it. I thought I was happy, but deep down I was destroying myself, slowly but surely. I didn't know or understand where and how to seek help. Being so young, I didn't even realize I needed help for a long time. I always had big dreams, but could never picture myself catching those dreams and making them come to life. I always had my passions and talents like music and making others smile, but my addiction and mental health limited me. I wasn't a lazy person. Obviously, I knew how to support my addiction. I always found work to make money and support myself. I put my time in so I could have fun, but it wasn't fun. It was hard. It was hard for me to go to work, get out of bed, keep a job. Even saving money was hard, especially saving for a better future, like a house for my family or investing in my career as an artist. When I first started getting into music as a teenager, I would always drink while I would record. I thought booze would help build my confidence. Instead, alcohol led me to a dark place. Just a few years back, I was in a car accident. I was drunk and I was driving. Some of my closest friends and family were with me. I wrecked my car. I put the people I love in danger, and I woke up. Enough was enough. I didn't know where to start, but I knew I had to change my life. A long time ago, a teacher said to me that sometimes you have to say goodbye to those you love so you could save yourself. Those words still live inside of me today. Saying goodbye to some of my closest friends and family was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But saying goodbye to those negative influences also saved my life. Saying goodbye also gave me a chance to build a new life. My journey of healing showed me that I'd been using booze to manage my moods for years. I started to see life clearly again. My mental health and mood swings improved. On my journey of healing, I started putting my emotions into my creations, into my music, into my art, into my comedy. I started expressing myself in ways that were healthy, happy, and often funny. I believe I'm just like you because I know I'm not alone in my challenges. No one said being human is easy, especially these days. Every day there's someone battling addiction. Every day there's someone in a mental health crisis. Maybe it's you, or maybe it's someone close to you. You can make it. I believe in you. Addiction is different for everyone, but we all overcome pain the same way. Acknowledge you have a problem. Take steps to overcome obstacles. Never give up. The road to recovery is long. The recovery road is hard and scary, but recovery is also beautiful and brave. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to look better. You'll have more money, more friends, better friends. You'll thank yourself, and you'll save your own life. People living with addiction are just like you and me. All people matter. No matter what they do, what they've done, where they come from, we are all in this together. We need to be kind to each other. We're all doing our best on this journey called life. Today, I am grateful to be making music, creating art, speaking up and about Indigenous issues. We are strong, proud, and resilient people. Remember that. And just like before my struggles with alcohol, I could still make people smile and laugh. Laughter is really good medicine. I've come a long way, and I'm damn proud of myself for that. Today, I am sober. Today, I am healthy. Today, I am loved. And so are you. You are loved. Miigwech.
It's fantastic to have so many people supporting each other, reducing the stigma surrounding addiction, and raising awareness about recovery in our community. No matter where you are in your journey, St. Joseph's Care Group is here to help you and your loved ones make healthy, positive change. We are proud to be part of Rockin Recovery and to celebrate Recovery Day here with you.
Toledo Anishinaabeg Family Care is proud to support Rockin Recovery Day and celebrate sobriety and living healthy lifestyles. We're here to support you through the stages of your recovery. We have a pre-treatment program, residential treatment center, post-treatment services like housing support, and a great aftercare group. We encourage you to continue working on your goals with the support of our adult mental health workers. Our programs are rooted in Anishinaabe culture, and we use the 7 grandfather teachings to guide the work we do together.
That's Sean, that guy. Sean Morriso, man. Another round of applause for Sean. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Venom, Thunder Bay's family rock band consisting of 3 members. Eldest son, Francisco Melicola, is the bass player. Co-lead vocalist and youngest son, Andrea Melicola, is the lead guitarist, and co-vocalist Enzo Melicola, father, plays the drums and sings backing vocals. They became a band out of a lifelong love and passion for music. So introducing Venom. Thank you.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Unexpected. That was really good, guys. Shout out, man. That was really good. Also, that guitar was dope. I want that guitar. I perform with my dad, so I totally get it, man, for sure. Next up, we have Kayla Marshlock. And I want to take a second to just thank Kayla for she's been there for me a lot this year. So that's the kind of person Kayla is. So I just want to give her a shout out. She spent most of her life here in Thunder Bay. Kayla is very grateful to have found a way out of the life of active addiction. Service work and recovery fellowship has played a huge part in her healing journey, and she is excited to share a part of her story with each of you tonight. So with no further ado, Kayla Marshlock.
I never thought that I would have a story of hope to share. Before I entered recovery, I was living a life of despair, hopelessness, and feeling unworthy of love. At a very young age, I never felt good enough. I became very insecure, and low self-worth put me in some dangerous and unhealthy situations. I didn't fit in high school, and I didn't fit in at home. So I started smoking weed and drinking. But what I really wanted so badly was to feel loved and accepted. When I dropped out of high school, I was introduced to cocaine and pills. At 17, my using career really kicked off. Crack was my drug of choice. Within a year, I made the choice to have a baby. And when I found out I was pregnant, I stopped using immediately. And I didn't use for 8 years. But within those 8 years, I replaced hard drugs with a toxic relationship. And in that relationship, I conceived another child. During that relationship, my feelings of worthlessness grew, and my addiction manifested itself. Shortly after I got out of that relationship, I started using again. And like most people, I used drugs to escape reality. I didn't want to feel the pain. Drugs were my solution, and then drugs became my problem. And then drugs became a very big problem. Some addicts lose everything and everyone over decades. But me, I managed to lose everything I cherished and everyone I loved within 18 months. Recovery, gone. 2 kids, gone. Friends and family, gone. My job, gone. My home, gone. Before I was 30 years old, I had lost every single person that I loved and everything I cared about. Being homeless was just a cherry on my garbage fire life. Looking back, I realized I was addicted to the pain and chaos, and I had lost all connection with my higher power. At one point, I actually thought I was going to be magically lifted out of the horrors of my addiction. I thought someone was going to come and rescue me, save me from myself. And it turns out that person was me. I finally admitted that I was sick of the life I was living. I was sick of the filth I was living in. I was tired of constantly being afraid that I was going to go to jail or that I was going to die. I was afraid that someone, a man or a woman, was going to hurt me really, really bad. Every day I had that fear. My kids have always deserved a healthy mom, a happy mom, a mom who could take care of them and make them laugh. All kids deserve a healthy role model. So I went back to my mom. I went to my family and I asked them for help. I told them I wanted to get clean, and I promised I was serious this time. I was willing to do whatever it took for me to get clean. And I did. The more deep I went into recovery, the more I was introduced to a brand new life. Not only did I stop using, but I began to learn to love myself. In less than a year, I was reunited with my family. I was raising my daughter, and I started seeing my son on a regular basis. I was reconnected with my parents and my sisters. Every important relationship I rebuilt as best I could, to the best of my ability, one step at a time. 3 of the main principles I've practiced in my recovery have been honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. I had to get completely honest with myself and the people around me. I had to be open-minded and tolerant of different people, places, and things. And I had to show willingness. Willingness is an action word, and I had to show that I was willing to do whatever it took to help myself and heal myself. In recovery, you must be very, very brave as you learn to love yourself. As you figure out how to deal with anger and sadness in healthy ways. Recovery has been a major blessing for me. I've gone from being a homeless junkie with nothing but a ripped bag of dirty clothes to a young woman and mother who's physically healthy and genuinely happy. I am actually free from the pain of my addiction. I am actually connected to myself, my family, and my friends. I actually feel alive. Recovery is a process. Recovery does not happen overnight. Recovery takes a lot of work now and tomorrow. Recovery means leaving some people behind, and that's okay. I'm on a healing journey. I am growing into the best version of myself, and I truly love who I'm becoming. I am worthy of love. I am lovable, and so are you.
All right. Shout out Kayla. She actually introduced me to Recovery TikTok. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's a really positive space. So if you're on TikTok, share at Recovery is Possible, hashtag Recovery is Possible. There's a few different hashtags that you can use to bring in that wavelength on TikTok, and you'll just be inundated with positive stories that'll help you in your recovery. So anyways, next up, we have, first we got to do the special thanks, right? So special thanks to Bay Village Coffee, awesome business, for hosting the Drug Awareness Committee's 30th anniversary celebrations this afternoon. We are now going to announce the winner of the Drug Awareness Committee's 30th anniversary giveaway, a gallery frame Norval Morrisseau print titled Between Two Worlds, donated by Vince Marabelli. Geez, that guy's everywhere. Holy, what an awesome guy that Vince. Okay, anyway, hold on. Next page. Yeah, give him a round. Give Vince a round for sure. He's awesome. Okay. With no further ado, Dina Jewett. We'll be in touch with you soon. You won, Dina Jewett. So yeah, shout out Dina. Beautiful Norval print. I want to thank everyone for participating in our social media contest and recovery events leading up to tonight. Thank you to the planning committee and our event coordinator for helping to organize tonight. Thanks to the sponsors, comedian, Janine, and the bands, and thanks to recovery speakers. Tonight was about you and for you. I want to take a second real quick to say, go get a naloxone kit. If you don't have one already, go get one. If you need one and you know me, come to me and get one. If you know any of these people in this room, any of the people that spoke, they'll give you one or they'll help you get one. So seriously, download the what's that called? Lifeguard app, also that. Get the Lifeguard app. If you know anyone in active addiction, get them to get it. Come to me again if you need them, if they need a phone, whatever, man, we'll figure it out. But anyway, so if you want to get involved with planning or participating in some way, please let us know through the comment section or send a private message to the Drug Awareness Committee Facebook page. If you have any suggestions about speakers, bands, or activities for the next year, share your ideas in the comments as well. I look forward to reading that, actually. Thank you, everyone, for watching and taking part in Rockin Recovery 2021. That's hashtag Rockin Recovery T-Bay. Thanks again, everybody. Let's give us a round of applause for a beautiful night.